You're welcome to another episode of Tutu Unravellz. My name is Tutu. On this show, I get to speak to other immigrants like myself who has given me access into their life to talk about their experiences and the moves they made to overcome the struggles of being an immigrant. Today, I am sitting with a friend of mine who is a director of contract manufacturing in one of the biggest brewing companies in the world. And most importantly, she is an immigrant from Peru. Her name is Katherine. Hi, Katherine. How
Hi,
you doing?
Tutu. How are you?
Thank you so much for coming, and I do appreciate it.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here today.
You look so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Thank you. So I think I can remember the first time I had an encounter with you. It was at one of this event. I think it was an independence. It was the 4th of July.
Yes.
It was a party, and then you walked into that room, and the room became like silent. Everybody just went quiet. I'm like, wait, what happened? But I didn't know what it was. But I'm starting to think it's just the way that you carry yourself. There's just something about you, and I'm like, when I saw him, like, wow, this is me. She is me. And from that day, I think we got to talk together, and we became friends. And
Yes.
since then,
Yes.
we've been kicking it.
Definitely.
How have you been?
I've been great. Thank
It's
you.
good to see you. You know, you're such a beautiful young woman, and you've, achieved so much in your career path, and that's why I decided to bring you on the show. And being the fact that you're also an immigrant, I think there's so many stories that are, attached to you that brought you to the point where you are now, that I feel like other immigrants, want to listen to it and just hear you talk about those stories. So we're just gonna go dive into it a little bit and just, take me back to your childhood in Peru and how was life in Peru.
No, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. I
You're
actually
welcome.
have watched your 2 prior episodes, and I think they're so insightful. And I wish I would be a young college person that would have the opportunity to watch these
Right.
episodes
Right.
and learn from it.
Right.
And I appreciate what you're doing for the immigrant community, because honestly, we need to talk more about these topics, and we need to communicate, and we need to learn from each other.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
So let me walk you through my life in Peru.
Great.
Peru is all about my family. It's all about getting together. It's all about reunions. It's all about being on a Sundays with my aunts, my cousins.
Oh.
It's all about family to me, and my upbringing and learning from my family members to strive for the things that we wanted. So that to me is so important. I mean, the food and the traveling and the beautiful places that Peru has to offer are great.
Now you're making me want to come to that place. Like, take me to Peru with you.
And actually, we just won 3 awards. One is the best cultural place. Machu
Okay,
Picchu.
sis.
And then I think was one of the best foods in the world.
No,
as well.
you're lying.
Yes, no, I'm not.
Great.
So honestly, I think to me, all of that came together for who I am and my culture and my food. So yeah, Peru has a very special place in my heart.
When you're talking about the food, I really want to know, what is that? What is it?
there
The
is-
award for that best food that you guys
There is
got?
everything for anything in Peru. We're very diverse. As a country itself, we have the Amazons, we have the Andes. On the Amazon, Andes, and then we have the coast, we have Pacific Ocean there. So
Okay.
from a food perspective and people perspective, we're so diverse.
First of all, I'm glad that you've educated me a little bit, because the only thing that I know about Peru is the Peruvian hair. But I'm glad I get to know
Yeah.
that. But what food is so great?
So
what particular dish that
we
you
have one that is called ceviche. It's like a fish that is cooked through lime juice.
Mm.
And it's really, really tender, really good. We have something that's called lomo saltado, that is like a steak with french fries and tomatoes. And
I'm
those are,
hungry. Invite me to come.
There
eat.
are multiple restaurants, so we should definitely go.
I also heard we should go. I
Yeah.
also heard that you guys were the first country to actually cultivate potatoes. Is that
Yes.
true?
I think it's over 3,000 types of potatoes.
You lying,
in Peru
because I know
now.
just one.
Yeah, I know. It is amazing.
Oh, well, do they all taste
Yeah.
differently though?
They do have different colors, different shapes,
Right.
different texture. Yes.
Okay. Oh, great. Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know about that. So, how did you get into the United States from Peru?
Yeah. So lucky enough, my mom was a nurse in Peru, when she came to the United States, they were offering her some lotteries for nurses programs, and she took one. And funny enough, when we came here, she just took us to say we were gonna go to Disney World, and we were like, you know what? Who doesn't love to go to Disney World?
Fact.
So we came to Miami. I remember that, and we stayed with my uncles. And the time passed, like the days were passing by, and we were not seeing no Disney World.
Like, where is the Disney World?
And so then she was like, "You guys want to try the school?" And we were like, "Okay, you know, why not?" So we went to school, and then 2 weeks after, she asked us if we wanted to stay, and then she told us that she got a job here. And honestly, I think the first time that we went to school and like seeing how the country was and the opportunities that we were hearing from people, we say yes, no brainer. We wanted to stay here and we wanted to live that American dream.
Well, that's great. I do want to touch on some, because me and you, we've been friends for a while now. We had time to talk, but there's one thing about your story that actually caught my attention, and that is the situation that you had when you were in school, that your advisor at that time in high school had, technically advised you to go to a 2-year program instead of going to the 4-year program, where you would have at least, shortened the time to reach your goal faster. Maybe not supposedly, but at that point in time, 2 years was a lot of time. But let's go into that. Let's touch on that.
No, I think we were a very small amount of immigrants in the school, and especially like the Spanish speaking ones.
Right.
And I find out that every Spanish person that went to see this advisor got the same recommendation, that we must go to a 2-year university or a 2-year college. And one thing that I didn't know, because I was first generation immigrant here, going to a university, I have no clue what a university was.
Right.
And I was like, well, if the advisor is saying that I should do that, then I should do that. But then at home, I was getting letters and letters from other schools and universities, and they were asking me to come and go to the universities. So when I went to a county college, and I started seeing all my peers there from my high school, and then we all got together and we're like, wow, like he told us all the same story. And then little to know, I find out that I was part of a scholarship program. I qualified for New Jersey. And even though like I wouldn't be able to go to a school and the state would pay for it, but I think to me it was that he did not give us a choice, and he did not talk to us about the difference between the 2 years and the 4 years. There's nothing wrong going to a 2-year university, but not having the choice and being an advisor, somebody that you're supposed to trust for your career and your growth. That was uncalled. Like, we were shocked, and again, we talked to all of the Spanish-speaking persons and went to the high school. Every year he gives the same advice to everyone, and we were shocked. But again, to me, it was not giving me the opportunity to go to a 4-year and talk to me about that. That was an option.
So did you think that affected you? Maybe the amount of time that you wasted.
It did not affect me much from I think a career, from an education perspective, but I definitely learned from it.
Right.
I learned a lot, and one of the biggest things that I learned was that I need to always double check my source, and I need to always make sure I ask somebody else or do my own research, because there are going to be situations like that are going to happen to us, where somebody's going to tell you something, but you don't know if it's good or bad for you, or what other options you have. So since then, I learned my lesson, and it's not that I don't trust people, but I definitely be like, okay, thank
just
you for
to have like
validation.
a second validation to be sure that this person is right. Because if he had spoken to you and given you the choice, then at that point in time, you probably would have gone to a 4-year program, and then you did have the scholarship program, and it would have been a faster route. But I mean, we're still thankful that at least you reached your goal and you're where you want to be.
Yes.
So things happen. It's just how you get, how you kind of overcome those struggles to be a better person. So you're lucky for that. But then again, so after you went to, excuse me. So after that, you went to, that was university. So what uni was that you went to, and what course did you do, and
Yeah, so I went to Essex County College.
Where was that?
Essex County College.
Was it Essex County? That's what the advisor
No, that was in high school.
That was in high school. So the 2-year program was Essex College.
Yes.
And what did you do in Essex College?
And then I had 2 associates. I have business and accounting.
Right.
And then I went to transfer to New Jersey Institute of Technology, where I have my engineering degree and my master's as well there.
Wow, how was it? How was it in
It was
it's at NGIT, right?
Yeah,
how was it in NGIT?
Very diverse. There's a very diverse school, small classes, very personal. Like I appreciate my time there. I think when I was there, I wanted to live like again the university life.
Right.
So I joined multiple things. I was on it. I actually dormed there. Like I just wanted to live that experience.
You used to go to parties?
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
I did.
I mean, I would think about it. You like to party, so anyways. So did you join any sorority program while you were in school?
Yes, I did. I joined a sororities, Mu Sigma Epsilon Sorority Incorporated.
What is that, and what do they do?
It's a multicultural sorority. We have our goals, which is empowering women, academic excellence, and unity amongst all women. And I think for us, it's empowering women, and that really called me to say this isn't what I wanted to do.
Right.
And this is where it goes back to, if the advisor would have given me the option, I would be able to join that earlier instead of later. But other than that, I think I spent and I did as much as I could to enjoy the university life.
Great. So how was the transition for you coming from I'm just pausing a little bit before we go in depth into IGIT, because I want to know how you were able to succeed in your academic success. How was the transition from you moving from Peru and coming into the United States in the beginning? How was that?
Yeah, it was, I think that the language was the tough one for me. Like when we first came, we came to Florida, and then when we moved to New Jersey, it was a night and day, right? In Florida, everybody speaks Spanish. And we were not like, oh, we don't have to learn English much. But then when we came to New Jersey, the Northeast, we were like literally shocked. Like there was no Spanish person sometimes to translate. So that was something that had to speed us up with the English. I think from a cultural perspective, again, going back to Peru, we're very family oriented.
Right.
That changed because then it was just my mom, my sister, and my dad. Mm-hmm. And then, so we have to develop our own cultures and families.
Nuclear family type of thing.
Yes. And I think one thing that I do appreciate that my parents did for us was when we were back in Peru, we traveled a lot. And my dad had to relocate a lot. So we learned to adapt really fast.
So that new locations.
So when I came to the US,
it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't.
Apart from the family situation.
Yeah.
But I mean, you were still lucky that you had your nuclear family.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I wasn't alone. Yeah, no, I think as an immigrant, the language is a tough one. And two, I think when you go to a very competitive school, you have to be competitive. Like you have to be there because, of course, the goal after you finish school is to get a job. Right? So everybody's fighting for the same job or the same internship or the same co-op. So I think that was one piece that was a struggle for me because I was a woman, I was a minority, I have an accent. Like, how would I qualify to get an internship versus my other classmates that were like born and raised here? So I think that was one of the challenge. But I was involved in everything. Like I was like, oh, there is a club, I want to be there. It was like something, I'd be there. And I think being able to talk about that, say, hey, I'm part of this club, I'm part of this organization, show some of my leadership skills. I think it helped me to differentiate from my other classmates. But yeah, I think the struggle is you have to stay super competitive.
So you had those struggles, but you were able to overcome them by going to all those clubs that you had in school, and so that gave you more opportunity to communicate with other people that are actually born and raised in America. So that was much easier for you to communicate with them because then it's you've been taught how to empower yourself and how to be strong and how to be able to overcome such situation for you. Mm-hmm. So in those clubs, what exactly do you do in clubs like that?
Oh, I was doing everything. We were like from selling empanadas, we were from raising money, we were doing events for the university, like anything and everything. I think again, network and be part of those organizations were helpful.
So what was your major at NJIT?
It was industrial engineer, yeah.
Walk me through your educational background and how, from NJIT, and then how you eventually got your first job and stuff like that. Let's go into that.
Yeah. So like when I went to NJIT, I knew I liked to solve problems. Math was okay. I was okay in math. I wasn't like super like, so I was like, well, what can I do? What could I be? And then I found this industrial engineering, which it deals with either or, like problem solving.
How did you find industrial engineering, Katherine?
And again, because when I was in Essex County College,
Right.
I was like on top of what I was gonna do next, and I was
Basically because of what you went
Yeah.
through when you were in high school.
I was like, all my advisors said, okay, I am good at problem solving.
Right.
I am good at finding things. I love to be involved and multitask.
Right.
What can I do? Like English as a language was tough for me, so I knew I was not going to be a lawyer, but I knew I knew I wanted to be working with like data and numbers, and he was like, hey, have you looked at industrial engineer? Like, I think you'll be good at it. And yeah.
And right then they was like, this is it, and I'm going into it.
click.
So after your 4-year program in NJIT, did you have to go for any internship program before you got your main job, or you just went right into it and started applying and then you got a job?
No, I was lucky. So I did stay an extra year to do my master's, and during that last 2 years, I was able to do internships with Johnson & Johnson, Estée L'Oreal, and yeah, so that's how I progressed to get my first job.
Was it hard for you in getting that internship, moving around, submitting resume, or it was just, or they came to your school? Because I know that be happening, and then you just got the job. Tell me about how you got
So
the
my
process.
first job, a recruiter reached out to me for my first real job, and yeah, it was like, hey, would you be interested in work for General Motors? And I said, for where? So I was like, General Motors, and then we went through the whole conversation, and he never said that the job was in Kentucky. And so they say, hey, we need to fly you in. At the end of the conversation.
Interview, after you got the job.
He was like, no, for the interview process.
Oh.
So they were like, we need to fly you in. And I said, what do you mean fly me in? Isn't the job here? He says, no, the job that I've been talking to you for an hour is in Kentucky. And I was like, oh my God, like, what do I do? So I was like, yeah, of course. And yeah, so then the rest is history. I got a job. I moved to Kentucky. I was there for like, I think 3 years and a half. It was the best job. I think it's the best first job. I think it set me to where I am in my career today.
How was your first presentation at the job in Kentucky?
Oh my gosh, I had so many. My manager first told me, like, you speak too fast. I think like people just smile through the whole process, but definitely they were like, I was too nervous, I was too fast. People were like, you were clicking a lot, so it was a mess. But they were very helpful. They coached me through the process.
Oh, nice.
They were like, you need to slow down.
Good for you.
Slow down. But I think they were very like, they mold me. They gave me a lot of good tips.
How long did you spend at General Motors?
I was there for 3 years and a half.
You did enjoy it.
I love it. I did enjoy it.
So how did you move from General Motors? Because now let's talk about you being a director. I want to hear about your old journey in from General Motors to Johnson & Johnson and coming here. Look at you now as a director.
I am a director of contract manufacturing for new product development for Heineken USA.
Okay, sis.
And yeah, so I think I did work really, really hard. I know we tend to be very humble for what we do, but I do feel like I have work, I have my job's experience, so I'm excited to be where I am today. I am very humble and honored, but at the same time, hell yeah, I deserve it.
And I'm just gonna touch a little bit at the one time that you over here, you enjoying it clearly. You're the one that your job gets to fly you all over the states in America, living your best life. And I can remember one time you were in Miami, and I was in Miami. I remember you calling me like, oh, I think you're sitting on my snaps like, oh, Tutu, I'm in Miami, and it's like, oh,
I am working, and you're
partying. And then we didn't get to see, because you know how Miami be leads and shit, so we were not able to see each other. But then you are living your best life.
Yeah.
From and getting paid at the same time. I want to know about that. Tell me.
Yeah, traveling is good from the outside, but it has their challenges, right? I mean, you're not home all the time. You're in and out of the planes. Like you have to adjust a life like two times a week, where you are in a, whatever they send you.
Right.
So I think it's adjustable, but I do enjoy the opportunity, and yeah, I'm very excited that I can be able to travel and see different things during.
So you travel like every week?
I was like, it depends where we are in the season, but yes.
Oh, wow, how does that feel? Do you like that?
I mean, I like it. I like to go and see people face to face, especially with the COVID times and everything being on the cameras.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So having that personal relationship for what I do is important. So I do appreciate that having that opportunity.
Great. So, Katherine, over the years, you've worked with major companies like L'Oreal, Johnson and Johnson, General Motors, and now you're a director at Heineken. Walk me through your journey from that girl that just finished at uni and started off at General Motors. What was your position as a supervisor?
As a supervisor.
So tell me how you work your way up to the top.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of perseverance. Like I had to be very put a lot of hours, put a lot of work. Like I had to be on my top game most of the time, because I feel like if I wouldn't put the extra work,
Right.
I wouldn't be able to meet the expectations, and
Right.
then also go into a competition with my peers.
Right.
So I always have to go above and beyond. And to me, one of the biggest struggle was I put too much time into my career,
Right.
that I left my personal side go, and I just focused on my career, and I needed to put 110% rather than 100% like everybody else.
I mean, and that helped you because now you were able to grow from one company to the other. And not only did you just move from one company, but you were able to, grow in your career path as well. So basically, working at Heineken, being that director, there must have been some struggles. Like, what were the things that you were able to, that happened to you along the way, dealing with gender inequality at the job? Tell me how you were able to deal with all that situation.
So I am very lucky because Heineken is a very diverse company.
Oh, great.
And they, at least my group from my team, most of us are women. And most of us are super diverse from different countries. So far, I have not seen an issue from me being an immigrant from another country, or even speaking Spanish, being an issue within the company's culture so far.
So that's working well for you.
Yeah,
Then.
it is.
So you want to tell me that you don't have any situation with unconscious bias, favoritism at the job?
Not at this one, but I did experience it through my last roles, like my last careers again, because
Tell me
I'm
about
working
that.
in manufacturing as a female. It's the unconscious bias that she cannot do it. She cannot put the hours because she's a girl, she's
Right.
a woman. You give it to the man that is the toughest one, the strongest one, and we are seen as weak. And so I did have a lot of that, and I had to prove myself that just by smiling doesn't mean that I'm weak, and how strong I can be in my career and I'm persistent. So I did have to go through all that path because people didn't see that I was a
Right.
leader.
Right.
People were like, "Oh, she's just a girl. She's a woman.
Right.
She's a minority." So there was so many names under my name that I had to overcome them.
How did you overcome that? Because I would be, having to work and, working with those people and you being called stuff like that. How were you able to overcome that particular situation?
I think, honestly, it was a lot of self-searching. Definitely going home sometimes, and I was like, why I'm doing this kind of thing. It was like, I don't want to do this anymore. But again, I didn't want to give up.
Right.
And I said, I need to do this. I need to prove these people
Right.
who I am, and I'm here to stay.
Right.
And again, I think a lot of people talk, but when you actually deliver, that was the key for me. Being able to deliver every time I was on a roll was very important.
Your connection on LinkedIn, it's crazy, unimaginable great number of people. How did you get that connection?
I think it's again going through conference, going
Right.
to leadership events, participating in multiple forums, being able to network, get to know people. That's
Speaking to you, Katherine, I'm telling you, a friend that was at a place, that works at another place, that has this job, that is in this company and another company, and I think that's good because that's helping you build your career as well along the way.
yes, correct.
Like, So the global pandemic actually caused a lot of people to start working from home. And matter of fact, a lot of people actually lost their job in this process. So tell me, how did that affect you? Did that affect you in any way whatsoever? And how did that affect you?
Yeah, no, I think I had to work from home as well. Luckily, I still have my job, and we were able to manage working from home.
How was that situation for you?
It was interesting. It was hard to adjust. I mean, the first month it was
Right.
like, like getting out of your bed and to your desk, and then go back to your bed. It was like the whole transition was so
Right.
different.
So how were you able to cope with that situation?
So I started exercising, and then I live in Stanford. So here the city offers a lot of sports outside. Everything was safe, separated, and then I was able to start joining them, and I started to go into Zumba classes.
Okay, I can remember you invited me to one of your Zumba classes, but I'm like, Katherine must not know that I am not about that life. Like Zumba, we're not doing that. but I watched it online and you did great. I'm actually proud of you.
So I became a Zumba instructor, and I have this fear of performance. So I was like, oh my gosh. But I think, you know what I said, if there's nothing else to do in this world,
Zumba. Zumba it is.
Zumba it is, right? So yeah, I did that, and I did a lot of hiking, a lot of outside events. So yeah, that was me. Like I'm an extrovert, so being at home was tough.
Right.
But I was able to be outside and enjoying my time outside.
Moving on, what are your next plan in the next 5 years? What do you have planned for you? Everybody want to know.
Oh boy. I don't know. I think I plan a lot in my career. So I'm looking forward to my personal life, having a kid, having a family. I think that is for me my priority.
Right.
I think my career is always going to be my priority because I know who I am, but I am definitely looking to enjoy more time in my personal life.
I'm proud of you. You've been through so much. You've been through so many challenges along the way, coming from your country, coming to America, and you've been able to achieve so much. Right now, you're working with one of the biggest, beer company. That's a great achievement, if I must say. But my own question to you is you've talked about some of these troubles that you faced along the line. You even talked about how you were able to overcome it. But is there something that you feel like you would have done differently as soon as you came into the country that probably would have helped you, reach your goal faster? Maybe not. Maybe just give you a different side of life. So, what would you advise a new Katherine that just came into the country and just don't know how to start?
Yeah, I think it takes me back to the situation with the advisor,
Right.
and the fact that I didn't take it into my own hands to ask somebody else to validate, right? Being that fear of coming to this country and not knowing. There are people out there to help us, like what you're doing today, right? So there are other means and ways for people to go. The internet is so powerful today.
Right.
So I think that is, to me, my biggest advice to myself would be, do your research, ask the questions, don't settle for just the one person,
Right.
because the one person might not be telling you everything,
Right.
and if you go to a second person, there might be something else that you might be learning.
Right.
So that, to me, is like one of the things that I always do, is like, ask the question, don't be afraid to ask the question,
Worst case scenario.
and don't be afraid to challenge either. Like, make sure you speak up, and make sure you do your research.
Right, thank you so much for the advice, Katherine. And that's just it. Speak up. Make sure you Google stuff if you don't have that much information. Get as much. There's nothing like too much information. Get everything, any resources that you need to help you to move up in your career, or also achieving your academic success. You can start from anywhere. So thank you so much, Katherine. So guys, Katherine, I remember you are also a career coach. So some of my viewers might want to reach out to you. So how can they reach out to you? Do you want to give them your Instagram, or probably your LinkedIn? So when people are trying to get a job, how these people, you gotta help, you gotta connect with you.
No, definitely. I think once you post the video, we can share my LinkedIn information, and they can reach out to me. Yes.
You know what to do. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment. Tell me what you feel about this episode with Katherine. If there are any topics that you want me to cover, make sure you comment below. Or if you're just somebody that have a very good experience that you want to talk about on the show, send me an email on contact@unravellz.com, and I'll definitely reach out to you. Who knows? You might be on this hot seat the next time. So, Katherine, thank you once again, and do have a beautiful day. Bye.
Bye.